Great job, Mr. President.
Why don't you get right behind me, folks?
Yup, that's me, standing at the White House taking a selfie with the most powerful man in the world. A few years ago, this moment would have seemed impossible. Back then, I wasn't shaking hands with world leaders. I was just a high school dropout from Alabama that barely survived in Afghanistan. Fast forward, my company had just surpassed 1 million orders on Shopify and became the fastest growing company in the state of Alabama, earning me a trip to the White House. But before you think this is a rags to riches story, let me tell you, the real battle had just begun.
I believe it's going to be a catastrophic mistake for them.
If we fucked up and there's something that we did wrong to impact everything, I'll make sure that you're well taken care of.
I hope that Shopify will make it right. And,
Oh, sure,
you know, and
I said if we messed up, that there's a chance that you need to say what you need to say externally, but I appreciate you containing this and not, blowing a whistle in the Shopify Plus community or doing anything like that.
Yeah, about that. Everything was going great until it wasn't.
I've been just trying to survive, and I've been in prison. It's not fair.
Therefore, I conducted a multi-year investigation. I reviewed hundreds of online documents. I scoured the internet for articles and blogs of others having the same issue. I consulted with numerous forensic experts. I cross-referenced dozens of notable brands, including how they were even routing data through a small autonomous set alongside the DNC, and additionally routing upstream to China. I want to be clear. The views, conclusions, and allegations within this video are solely my opinion, based on evidence that I have personally gathered or experienced working directly with Shopify as a merchant. With that being said, this is Shopify, Where's My Data? Part 1.
Tell you guys about Shopify. It's an easy-to-use platform that makes starting a business as easy as using your phone.
Shopify is the god tier of commerce platforms in the world.
I've been a fan of Shopify for years.
The best part about Shopify is you can literally build anywhere. Build it, grow it, and manage it.
Shopify all the way, baby.
Shopify. Shopify.
Shopify.
Shopify.
Shopify.
Shopify.
Shopify.
Shopify.
Shopify.
No, I'm with you. I think that if it happened to me, I'm sure there's a bunch of people. They just don't know.
Usually the way it happens, right? It's rarer that we see one catastrophic event. So I feel like if there isn't a team rallying around this, there probably should be.
It began with the question, one that seemed really simple at the time. But the answer led me to something far bigger than I had ever imagined. What I discovered launched me into a multi-year investigation, uncovering a disaster that no one saw coming. Before we dive into the details, let's rewind to the very beginning. We use Shopify as an e-commerce platform to sell our products online. We started utilizing Facebook ads in 2016 to rapidly scale our business. Let me show you how we did it. So what we're looking at here is a Shopify overview dashboard of October of 2016. As you can see, revenue, it's not great, but could be worse. I just started implementing Facebook ads in November of 2016, and you can see right when I started to make it, that increase. Look what happens in December of 2016 when we went full send on our Facebook ads. $761,000 just through our online store on Shopify. Redline wasn't just scaling, it launched like a rocket, with Facebook ads being the fuel that propelled us nearly 5,000% month over month. And the growth never stopped. At this point, we scaled from 5,000 square feet to over 50,000 square feet in just 13 months' time. And from there, we scaled to over 110,000 square feet in just 3 years. We became the fastest growing company in the state of Alabama, according to the Inc. 500. We even collaborated with some of the biggest celebrities in the world, like Megan Fox, Kelly Clarkson, Dolph Lundgren, Marisol Nichols, and a handful of others. We were even invited to the White House for Made in America Week to represent the state of Alabama, where President Trump himself even purchased one of our flags. Redline's growth wasn't just impressive, it was unstoppable. From November of 2020 to November of 21, we processed over 1 million orders on our website. And when things were at their peak, everything changed. Like a sudden blackout, my Facebook advertising ability became cut off. Without warning, without explanation. But before we continue, it's important to understand the fundamentals of how a Facebook pixel works and what cache means. Imagine visiting an online store that you've been to prior, and it loads almost instantly, including the product that you had previously left in your cart but didn't purchase, thanks to cache. Cache works like a memory shortcut, saving and storing parts of a website, so it saves, recalls, and loads even faster. But when a website needs to update in real time, cache can sometimes serve stale or outdated content. In this scenario, like a Facebook pixel might not work correctly or at all. A Facebook pixel tracks the user's behavior on a website, like visiting a page or adding an item to their cart, helping advertisers retarget those visitors based on the performed actions. If the cache serves an outdated pixel, advertisers, such as myself, would receive inaccurate and incomplete data, leading to poor audience targeting, retargeting, inaccurate reporting, and missed sales opportunities. This isn't just a minor glitch. It's a major problem. Outdated cache can lead to millions in wasted ad spend, with brands unknowingly delivering ads to incorrect audiences, losing valuable conversion data, and making marketing decisions based on flawed insights.
In 2020, Shopify changed how Facebook pixels are installed on merchants' websites. This helped allow for greater integration between Facebook and Shopify.
7 days after installing the Facebook sales channel managed by Shopify, I noticed significant data discrepancies, and so I sent an email to both Shopify and Facebook.
Something is off with the pixel. We'll go ahead and open the website, and you'll see Facebook's tool pop up with no events found on this page. And it looks like everything's connected, but something is absolutely off. And this is why our performance has absolutely been horrible. It's just not picking up at all.
And this is their response. Allison, our Facebook account manager, on November 1st, 2021, stated that according to our events manager, it looks like the Pixel 3927 is not firing at all, and that 0 websites are associated to it. As you can expect, our account manager for Shopify also replied, just letting them know to keep them posted with any of the updates, and if there's an issue on Shopify's end, to let them know. An hour later, Allison emailed back and said, we've marked this tier 1 highest priority task and that should be concluded within 24 hours. Teaser alert, they never fixed the problem. Finally, August 19, 2022, I got confirmation of something I knew all along. My Pixel was registering events through my old Pixel. York, a Facebook data scientist, sent me an email and indicated that he looked at June through August of 2022 and noticed that there was no attributed purchases at all. However, he could not find any technical issues. He further explained, there is a pixel attached to the ads. When I spot checked a few, so there isn't a connection issue between the pixel and the ads. I can see pixel data for purchases flowing in smoothly in the events manager. He further explained he audited our old Pixel 3927 and says, after reviewing Pixel 3927, there is sporadic purchase data. I checked our logs and couldn't find any rejection errors on my end. Finally, 10 months later, can you imagine spending over $1 million+ on a Pixel that didn't attribute any purchase events? Confirmed by Facebook. So with that being said, June through August of 2022, what are all these purchase events on my screen? If something was truly wrong, why would data be displayed within our account manager? Wouldn't it be displaying nothing? Why wasn't it rejected? Why was there not a technical issue that was discovered? Am I the first to report on this? What are these purchases? Your curiosity is mine as well, because what I believed to be true was the data that was actually in my account. But what was there wasn't accurate. Let's head over to Shopify and check out some of the reviews on the Facebook sales channel.
Facebook Pixel is not connected.
Not good. Extremely difficult to manage.
The Facebook integration with Shopify is useless.
It sounds as though your shop is being affected by a known issue on Facebook's team.
Okay, time out. Is Shopify really admitting that there's problems that they know of? The bigger question is, did Shopify openly know that there was a caching issue taking place on their sales channel? Short answer, yes.
Our marketplaces team got back to me on this, and they did advise that there is some caching that can occur between us and Facebook at this time, which is in part the reason why they're taking over the support for it quite soon, as we can't access that cache ourselves from here to assist with it.
And that's when it hit me. Why not take a closer look at some of these brands based on the historical records? The results confirm my worst fears. A review from Bird and Bear Shop caught my attention. They mentioned their Pixel was misfiring due to the app. So I checked their historical records, analyzing before, during, and after installing the sales channel. And the results were exactly as I expected. The Pixel was previously there, disappeared, and finally, months later, reappeared. Hell, even Facebook openly admitted they believed the cause of our issues was due to the Shopify sales channel integration. And I agree. To demonstrate, let's hop over to Facebook ad account and I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. As you can see, we're in our Facebook business settings, looking at our old Pixel, and 3927 is not connected to any assets as displayed. We're going to go into our events manager. Once again, you can see the old Pixel is not connected to anything, but we'll go to my main website and you'll see that the new one is actually installed and visible as it should be. We're going to go back into the partner integrations and you'll see that Shopify, our old Pixel, is connected and displaying. From here, we're going to hop over to Shopify once again to show that the data settings enabled is for our new Pixel 6314 as it should be. But why does the Facebook data scientist confirm that the old Pixel was registering events when the only thing visible on my main website was the new Pixel? But that never worked. Once again, your curiosity is mine. This has been like chasing a ghost. It's there, but it's not.
Okay, so you're running Facebook ads and they're not working. And that's kind of heartbreaking because Facebook ads are not cheap. They're expensive and they're confusing, right? Like you might be looking at the dashboard and just being like, what am I even looking at here? What numbers are actually important? Well, good question. But the most important question is why? Why are your Facebook ads not working?
Alessandro, our account manager with Shopify, ended up setting up a call with some of their launch engineers to assist us with technical issues that we had been facing. Let's listen to what they have to say about the issues that we've encountered.
No, I'm with you. I think that if it happened to me, I'm sure there's a bunch of people. They just don't know.
Usually that's the way it happens, right? It's rarer that we see one catastrophic event. So I feel like if there isn't a team rallying around this, it probably should be.
This is a good admission. He states, I can admit that part of the assistance you've received from our technical support has not been thorough, and I apologize on their behalf for this. Well, thanks, Alessandro. Big help. Look where we're at now. You know, in all honesty, I truly believe that Alessandro, our account manager for Shopify, truly cared. He even sent me a text message just to check in. Now, the Shopify executives, on the other hand, not so much.
Executives have declared a code yellow for its support organization, saying it needs to improve customer service levels that have deteriorated beyond acceptable ranges.
So looking at Shopify's community blog, I could see that people struggled with the exact same thing that I had, and that is the Facebook domain verification. We had to re-verify our Facebook domain 3 times within a very short period of time. And it never made sense to me. Why is this having to be done so frequently if it's done at the DNS level? A TXT record was installed and we're having to constantly refresh. And it got me thinking, if this is happening to me, is it happening to other people?
I could easily identify people that have, I just randomly picked one. Okay, they're having to re-verify several different things numerous times. Google. It's because of these, look how many times this is. This is crazy.
So a month had passed since we had that dropping bombshell from Facebook data scientists confirming that we had spent $1.7 million on a Pixel that never worked. And something intuitively just clicked. What happened when we first escalated this issue November 1st, 2021? Why would our domain and our Pixel become disassociated to begin with? Which led me down this path of reaching out to my domain provider, GoDaddy, and ask them a very simple question. Is there anything that you can see from a technical standpoint that we should modify? Now, I don't know what they saw on their side, But I will tell you this, they asked me to reach out to Shopify and ask them what our host domain A records were. So I did that, and here's what Shopify had to say. The IP address you're looking for ends in .65. And we responded with, our IP address ends in .32. Much to our surprise, she said .32 is a Shopify IP address. However, it is only available to Shopify domains, not third-party domains. So I'm not sure how this would be connected to a GoDaddy domain. So our conclusions began to magnify. If GoDaddy is showing that our IP record ends in .32 and Shopify is saying it ends in .65, wouldn't there be a mismatch? You know, this could be the reason that our domain and the pixel was actually disconnected to begin with. And we ended the conversation by simply asking, do you know when this change took place? Where her response was simply no. It's okay, I can find out. Through accessing public record, we could see there was a GitHub update that changed the IP address that ended for .32 and added .65 on October 18th, 2021. But wait, there's more. That's just 4 days after installing the Facebook sales channel. Could that be the reason that our pixel and our domain were no longer connected? This update that took place, could that be the true causation of all of our issues? You know, I am not a developer or DevOps, and by now you probably can see that for any of the engineers out there. What I am is a merchant on Shopify that was desperate for answers. I put in more support tickets in this 10-month time period than I had the prior 7 years of being a business. Clearly, there was a significant issue that I was looking for an underlying response, an answer. I was desperate. More than that, you know, at one point I had over 150 employees underneath Redline's umbrella. All of this was bootstrapped from the very inception of being a company. And I relied on Shopify as a trusted partner, but that trust was broken. And I sent a video to Shopify on February 22nd, where I clearly articulated an issue that resolved specifically around the host name to the IP address.
I want to go back to the root cause of why I've spent 1,300, 1,400 personal hours of mine to get it to this point, and then also just point out some things that I would like to highlight as causations, impact, and then the resulting damages, not only for my store, but to what I believe is over 1 million plus merchants on Shopify. Now, this is not anything from a legal standpoint. We're a merchant on Shopify. I'm coming to you as a merchant, asking you simply to do your job and to ensure the developers and the DevOps team are setting everything up correctly. So what I'll do is I will show you what I've been able to uncover. Basically, this email thread that I want to point out is Facebook Pixel utilizes host names, not IP addresses. Therefore, your domain settings cannot be a Pixel issue. Now, what we went to you guys about initially was based on the A record mismatch. Nonetheless, this email points out Facebook utilizes host names, not IP addresses. Facebook domain verification, Facebook pixels do not rely on IP addresses, but on DNS or HTTP validation. Site-to-site communication is reliant on host names, not individual IP addresses. Now I'm going to reference right here, and I'll zoom in so you can see it. If you see here, shops.myshopify.com. So our www record would be pointing to shops.myshopify.com. 0.64 was in use for 3 years, and now it's 0.74. If we look at the host name of the IP record, we can see that shops.myshopify.com is listed here, but it's not listed for 0.74. So there is no host name. In fact, we can go and do a DNS lookup specifically on 0.74 and see that there is no results. To take it a step further, I can go in and pull a specific report for our Apex, redlinesteel.com, and look at the domain, the website IP, and I can see that the domain status is parked. So the website IP address is the 23.227.38.74, right? So we're back here, 23.227.38.74 is no result. The result of not having this host name, as Alessandro indicates, Facebook pixels utilize host names, not IP addresses. It's not associated, which is exactly what's indicated here.
So my call to action to anybody watching this video, not just for myself, but for the million plus other merchants, is that we get this corrected for them and myself. I've tried and escalated this since November 1st of 2021 to try to get answers, and still to no resolve. But if this goes to trial, and a part of me really hopes that it does, I would love to tell a jury exactly the extent that I've had to go through to try to get resolutions for this. But it's still messed up. And our website and our tracking and everything else is broke with no assistance or no help to try to get this fixed. So if I'm using a terminology wrong, please forgive me. But I'm not a developer or DevOps. At this point, I probably could be. Right at 2 weeks after sending them that video, confirmed by their attorneys, you can see changes begin to take place. Now, with that being said, you don't have to be an engineer to see all of these differences that begin to take place, which leads me to believe wholeheartedly that the root cause and a cascading effect began to take place because of the mismanagement of Shopify's network. And just like Shopify's engineer stated, it's rare. There's one catastrophic like event, like mine. If there's one, there's usually many. That is what my opinion is, what took place on Shopify's network. It was mismanaged. There was updates that needed to take place. Was it done intentional? I don't know. I can't answer that. But what I can say is the facts that I know our tracking ability became impossible. We concluded that with Facebook data scientists, and the results speak for themselves. Look at the changes that took place based on the predictions that I'm saying what is going to happen next.
All right, so today is March the 9th, 2023. That was not there a few days ago when I sent this to Shopify on February 22nd, 2023. So there is no host name. In fact, and see that there is no results. We can see there's no border gateway protocols being observed. I'm going to go into our net record here for 23.227.38.74. As you can see, still indicates address has 0 hosts associated with it. If I go into the DNS, we can see how they have it listed, see how it was done previously. By going to .64, you can see it resolves to shops.myshopify.com. Host record for 7.4. DNS doesn't have anything listed. Now, today is March the 9th, but it looks like the last time it was updated was March the 8th. So I want to make this video just in case this ends up changing tomorrow. All right, today is March 10th, 2023. You can see how everything is being set up with their IP address. We can see that 0.64 is what's routed to shops.myshopify.com. However, if I click it, it takes you to 0.74. If I go to 0.74 and then go to DNS, it's blank. So again, and this is updated March the 9th. This is a video for record regarding the network routing for Shopify. They've made some modifications and changes based on an email that I sent directly to them. I did a video previous to this one, kind of predicting the changes that would take place. It's exactly what happened this past week. If I go into the DNS of this net name, we can see that they are now currently routing shops.myshopify.com to this DNS record. If I were to click here, you can now see that it resolves to shops.myshopify.com.
Clearly, changes were being made, which leads me to believe that there was a problem all along. Could it be catastrophic? And the reviews and all of the blogs and articles talking about domain verification failures or their pixel not being disassociated from their domain, just like mine. Is this widespread, or is it just happening to me? Unfortunately, just a few weeks after I sent this video, I was forced to close down operations on March 25th, 2023, due to Shopify's negligence and misconfigurations. We are packing up of what's left of some of the Redline inventory. Therefore, it led me to file a $60 million lawsuit against Shopify in Ontario, Canada, where we are alleging claims of damages for negligence breach of contract, breach of contractual duty of good faith, unjust enrichment, as well as aggravated and punitive damages. This is a David versus Goliath story. And this is Shopify, Where's My Data? Part 1.
So we were with Shopify before they installed the Facebook channel. Like before they had that sales channel, we were doing fine. As soon as they added that sales channel, we had so many problems. Not only did we lose money while we had the Facebook channel, but now we can't even grow the business at all right now. I mean,
if you had to summarize it, how much do you think Shopify costs you?
Yeah, I mean, I would say like over 10 million. I mean, I feel like Shopify really should be held accountable.